There are the 24 civilizations that are in direct service to us. There are in truth 12 of two. The 24 civilizations also are physical. At this present time, the civilizations are working with each other to move into balance and to resolve all residues of difficulty. Because the 24 are in a form of physicalness, they also have some of the difficulties associated with physicalness, not to the extent of the earth, but nevertheless to the degree that they have. If they had reached perfection, they would have merged with us. Among the 24 civilizations, not all have manifested upon the physical earth. There are those that have seeded planet Earth, but there are also those that have not, such as those that have been to Earth but have not been involved with the work of the other civilizations. Each of those civilizations, in particular those involved with planet Earth, and those that have not been involved with it but have sent a representative, need to be brought into balance. Guest, what is Ramtha? Why does Ramtha speak so definitely about September 1988? Tom, why was it said that the end would come in 1914 and again in the 50s? The different civilizations have different measures of understanding. Let me explain. The members of the Council of Nine are not, and have never been, in physical form. There are the 24 civilizations that are in physical form, and then there are what we could call helper civilizations that are in more physicalness than the 24. Example, Altia is a civilization of the 24. That civilization has one thought, one being. In other words, it is a collective consciousness of a very high caliber and is of millions of souls that support, create and survive with each other. They know all in their location and in their knowledge. They in turn have underneath them other civilizations that you would term workers or helpers of. We do not wish to use term sub-civilization, but there are those that filter down. Now, if humans on planet Earth have communication with a helper or a lesser civilization that does not understand the workings of all, then they are liable to receive misinterpretations. Example, in a corporation, there is the chairman of the board, there is the board of directors, and there are the departments within all the corporation. The department of purchase does not understand the department of selling, and the department of management knows more than both the departments of purchase and selling. So if one communicates with one department within their realm of understanding, they can speak on that, but outside their realm they do not understand. They can hold views which are valid only within their frame of reference. What that means is this: perhaps there is a communicating being in a civilization who sees that, if the planet Earth continues upon its present path, then it can bring about destruction? What that being does not see is the ability for humankind to change that. Planet Earth is unique in the universe, for upon this planet Earth there is freedom of will. Guest, it is generally understood esoterically that the four etheric subplanes of the cosmic plane can be the highest possible spiritual influences as far as humanity is concerned. I'd like to know if that is correct. Tom, you have received this information from one of the civilizations, you understand. Guest, I thought this was generally esoterically understood, and that it was coming from the channeling of Alice Bailey, which I thought was. Tom, you understand that that was not from us, it was from one of the civilizations. You understand that the 24 civilizations are the highest of all beings in the physical, that they are next to us. But you also understand that information is from a physical civilization. John, yes, could you say which of the civilizations it came from? Tom, I will ask for permission. It is the partner civilization of Myrex, called Moratriaman. It is not necessary to explain all the 24. It is best to speak of Huva, Ashan, Altia and Aragon. Andrew, can we clearly state at this time that the civilization of Huva is that which identified in the Bible? Tom, Huva is Jehovah. Yes. Andrew, and as far as Altia is concerned, can we? Tom, it was from the time of Atlantis and before. Andrew, right. And Ashan, can you give us some historical reference for Ashan's role in the past? Tom, Ashan was the beginning of the great composers, the Renaissance, the greatness of art upon the planet Earth. It began in a small portion in the time of Egypt in its working with gold, and in its beauty of architectural environments. Ashan is simply a civilization of great creativity. It has brought to the planet Earth great music, great art, and great literature. Yes. Remember, there will be those who will have great difficulty in accepting this. There will be no difficulty from heads of government or security services of government, for they will publicly pretend that this does not exist, while quietly they will send people to find out. For they know they need communication. Andrew, what would you suggest is the principal reason that you are coming here to help mankind, and what is the primary problem of man that needs help? Tom, the Council has said to explain it in a twofold manner, that if it continues in the manner which it is now, around or after your year 2000 planet Earth will no longer be able to exist as it is now. So the civilizations are attempting to cleanse it and to bring it back into balance by using their technology, not only for the saving of those that exist on Earth, but also because Earth is under the guidance of the civilizations that initially colonized it, and it is thus partly their responsibility. Then there is the entrapment and the recycling of souls. The necessity of coming at this time is because man in his dominion over animals and flowers and plants is now trying to control all of humanity, and we cannot have it. In the following transmission, Tom announced the presence of other beings. Tom, with us today we have individuals that are observing what is transpiring. They are in service or in study to us. We are preparing them to go and do the work and perform the service that is necessary for this planet to raise its level of vibration, to evolve, in order to help this universe. Andrew, well, we welcome their presence, and I hope we can be of some use in their education. Tom, they are beings from civilizations other than yours. John, could you clarify what you mean in this case? Tom, when we speak of civilizations, we speak of levels of consciousness. In order to raise the level of this planet Earth, by which that also raises the level of the universe, there are many different beings and civilizations that must learn to work in peace and harmony. As you have many millions of plants on your planet and many millions of species of animals, also in the universe there are many. Those that observe us on this day are observing the technique, and at the same time we are trying to show them the way to generate love and peace and harmony. They are observing the vibration of love. Owen, could you perhaps explain what happened when these people came in? Tom, these beings from space, from other different systems, became curious. Our primary concern is with the Earth, because it is important to raise its level, since it is holding back some of the evolution of the universe. But, as you know in your world too, at times inquisitive beings can create a problem. At times it is better to tell them a little, and this is what we are doing, although we have had a conference of many of the major groups and civilizations. This erases fear. It is our affair to help raise those from other different civilizations, other levels also. John, are any of these inquisitive ones with you now? Tom, no, these are their leaders. Andrew, could we enter into an exercise with you to help show them the evolution or the awakening of love? Tom, they are observing this because when we bring you peace and love we put a band around you, and we link that band with us. It is a vibration that is also like an electrical band. This is the only way I can describe it. They are very tiny atoms that link you with us. They are not molecules, they are atoms. I was told to clarify that. Andrew, that's very interesting, we didn't know that. John, I'm interested to know whether that can exist as a feeling on some levels. Tom, the chair that you are sitting on is tangible. This is not a tangible product, it is a vibration. It is what we would imagine an emotion to be like. John, we always feel good in our sessions with you and I imagine that is our experience. Tom, that is your emotion. We cannot explain this easily, it does not exist in your world. But what this generates to you is love and peace. The two words love and peace mean the same in our world as in your world, but the vibration, or feeling, is experienced differently. It gives you peace, with peace you can then love, and love is necessary for the evolution of all the beings on this planet. It is also necessary for raising the level of consciousness and the collective consciousness of this universe. When you are serene and peaceful within, and know in which direction you must go, and are solid in your convictions, this helps these beings who are observing. These other beings are observing the vibration of your commitment. It does generate a vibration, and in their observing this, then they in turn can tell, in the case of those with whom they are working, whether they are truthful or absolute in their convictions and in their commitments, or if it is just desire or ego. Ian, roughly what proportion of our society is open to the possibility of the existence of intelligent beings from space? Tom, it fluctuates between, in your developed world, 68% to 71%. John, now that there is a change underway 1991, is there a likelihood of any direct contact with the civilizations? Tom, when it is transformed there would be no reason not to, would there? John, that's true. Tom, part of that transformation will be a greeting of each other. John, that would be nice. Tom, however, no in fullness also there are others than ours. Andrew, is it possible for you to give us a brief idea of where the Altians come from, in terms of distance, the size of their planet, the atmosphere, what special problems they have entering our atmosphere, just so we have a thumbnail sketch of their characteristics? Tom, as you know, we come from the zone of cold. The area of Altia is on the fringe of the area of cold. It has no sun as you have a sun. We speak of a dimension. Andrew, yes, is it a large planet, or a small planet? For example, I was told that Huva was 16,000 times the size of the Earth. What is the size of their planet relative to the Earth? Tom, 52 times the size of Earth. Yes. Andrew, now, the reason I ask these questions is, we were thinking about how the Huvids and the Altians would adapt to the Earth's atmosphere if they landed here, and it seems to me both would have to undergo considerable transformations in order to enter our atmosphere. Then by the same token, Phyllis told us that she had the feeling that particular people could be physically transported, one of these days, to either of these two planets in order to communicate, and so on. Tom, the transport would not be to the planet, it would be to a vehicle? Andrew, aha, so we would be dealing with our own atmosphere in the vehicle. Tom, yes. Andrew, I see, and we would not have to undergo major transformation in order to enter their zone. Tom, no. John, we don't know whether a civilization might be only 10 souls or it might be many millions. Can you give us a general idea about that? Tom, within Altia, as stated in your Bible, there is the figure 144,000. Huva would be within the realm of 5 million. John, and those civilizations, are they what we would call eternal? I mean, do they last indefinitely in terms of our Earth time? Tom, if you lived 1,000,000 years in Earth time, you would feel you were eternal, is that not so? Owen, laughing, yes. Tom, then we would say it is eternal. John laughs, yes, okay, I understand that. Tom, Altia, we will say to you, is eternal. A Huvid would live approximately 1,000,000 of your years. The civilization of Huva is the one that brought forth the nation of the Hebrews. They came to planet Earth for this in the time of Sumer, whence Abraham came, and at the time when it is said in your books about the sons of the gods merging with the daughters of the earth, and they came one other time also. As they were the one civilization that had sustained energy and were determined to survive, they elected to play a central historical role on planet Earth. Their descendants represent a microcosm on Earth. Ashan communicates through the artistic. You understand that those of Ashan are not always capable of discipline. May we just say to you that for the millions of Huvids there are only a handful of Ashans. They come through by their own means. They are of creativity. If you will look into the culture of the Chinese, you will see the effects of their influence. Ashan is the creator of music, it is the creator of the beauty upon the earth, it is the civilization that creates muses. The Scandinavians were of Ashan as were the Phoenicians. John, they were very artistic with glass, I understand. Tom, yes. They were Bohemians. Ashan is light of body, and light as the wind, and as the sounding of crystal, do you understand? John, yes, that's very graphic. Tom, they are what you would call the surrealists of the universe. Involved particularly with Earth, you have Huva, Ashan and Altia. John, yes. Huva works with the physical. Tom, yes. John, and the astral, the creative, the emotional is Ashan. Tom, yes. And Altia works with the mental. It is the blending of three primaries, Altia, Huva and Ashan, which brings together the connection and the coupling of planet Earth with the universe. All involved with Aragon, Jose Arrigo the Brazilian healer for example, are involved in healing. It is different from Angkor. Angkor works under Aragon. They work in conjunction towards perfecting the health of humankind. They work together, as Spectra works for Huva. Zenial represents a similar principle to a computer but not just like a computer. We know not how to express it. Zenial works with interplay, interchange. Zend and Zentherp are worker civilizations of Zenial. They give a specialized structure of understanding and ability in the bringing forth of the energy of Zenial. Zenial is light and joyful and orderly. When we say orderly we mean the creating of order in the color energy. Zenial is the alchemist of the civilizations. This chapter finishes with an exchange between Irene and Tom concerning civilizations on this planet. Irene, I want to ask about the Chinese and the Buddhist Tibetans. How far back does this unhappy relationship go? What needs to be understood about it, and what is there that is not known in humankind's history about it? Tom, in the beginning China was one seeding and the Tibetans were direct descendants from another civilization, which was the soul of the Chinese. You know the importance of bringing forth the material with the spiritual. The Chinese represent the material. Irene, symbolically. Tom, yes, and the Tibetans represent the spiritual. Irene, but somewhere in the history of China and Tibet, they used the Tibetan lamas to teach the Chinese emperors their spiritual teachings, and yet even before that there was some imbalance that is still playing itself out now. Tom, you know that the priests of Tibet are in a direct relationship to what is called in the nation of Israel the sons of gods merging with the daughters of men. Ian, so, at which point in the evolution of man did the Tibetans appear and begin mingling? Tom, they were teachers. As loans came out of the sea to teach those of yore, they were the teachers to teach the Chinese, you understand. Now China wishes to consume Tibet, for in the consuming they believe they know best. Irene, so the Chinese unconsciously felt that they should have had the divinity that the Tibetans had. Tom, that is correct, but they did not have the ability. Irene, so knowing they lacked the ability, they sought to remove the Tibetans from sight. In more peaceful times they made them their teachers, thinking that if they learned better than their teachers they would assume that place of divinity. Tom, that is exact. As in ancient times the Bedouins ate the porpoise thinking they would receive its knowledge. Irene, okay, and when the Chinese saw that this transfer didn't happen, they turned toward violence. Tom, and bondage, for then if they could bondage the soul knowledge, they then could own it, control it, you understand. It is similar with the Jewish people, who hold a valuable place in the matrix, which others would take from them. Ian, so which of the civilizations did the Tibetans come from? Tom, it is one of the 24. Ian, and which one of the 24? Tom, I will ask for permission to tell to you the name. They are peoples that represent in the universe the principle of humility. They are of the civilization that, in total togetherness, are the principles of inner knowledge, not for expansion of self but for service. Now in this time, they are the only peoples, apart from the Huvids, who have inherent knowledge of their purpose as a collectivity in their coding. That is why they are cohesive, and why now, in this time when the 24 are emerging, they are expressing themselves, in their humanness. For they understand that they can bring to an end the elimination of threatened human groups. John, could you give us the name of the civilization? Tom. Irene, I understand your apprehension. I know it takes Buddhists and Lamas many, many years of studying and transformation to be able to obtain their knowledge, but I do think it's important. Tom, you have brought the Council of Nine into a wrangle. Irene, I understand that the Council might think this is a shortcut to people's commitment of faith and spirituality. Tom, that is correct. We choose not to tell it this time. We apologize.